I'm Amy Gibson. Welcome back to Wigscape. You may not think it's possible to be intimate with a wig and go swimming or being in a convertible or having sex. How about dancing? How about working out? Fabulous tips coming out of Sex, Wigs, and Whispers, Love and Life with Hair Loss. Yes, all that is possible, and yes, here are some great tips. In Sex, Wigs, and Whispers, it's really more about intimacy, which is different than sex. There's actually only 5 sexual positions. Actually, I call doggy doggy, rough rough. But anyway, when you're missionary style, right? Your hair is on your pillow. It's very common for someone to pull your hair by mistake. They're leaning on it, whatever it may be, right? The very first thing I do is I put my hair in back and out of the way so I know he's not with his elbow gonna catch it or he's on top that way. Just make sure that your hair is out of the way to avoid, number one, you being nervous and having to concentrate, have your focus there. Just get it out of the way, all right? And number 2, remember you're in control. You're in control here. That's the one thing you have to remember. Your hair does not control you, honey. You control it, okay? You are in control of this moment. You are in control of this moment, not him. You want to get dirty while having sex and still keeping your wig on without him ever knowing? Watch this tip. It's the first time you're going to be with this gentleman. What do you have to have on hand, right? Well, there's a few things. If you're using wig tape to adhere your piece, make sure you got a lot of it. But there's another wig that I call the Thrasher wig, and that's a wig that's usually a synthetic that's been cut exactly like your human hair, and what you're going to end up doing is switching out. But let me tell you how I did it, and if it works for you, great. So we go out on our date, no problem. Then we come home and we're starting to kiss, but there's that moment that we always go into the ladies' room, right? And we freshen up, or we're gonna change into our night, our lingerie or whatever. I would quickly take my human hair wig off, take my Thrasher wig out, immediately put it on, and I'm telling you, men never notice because their mind's on one thing, honey. It's not gonna be on which wig you have on. And if you've done it right and it looks exactly alike, he will not tell. And if the lights go dim, he's definitely not gonna tell. Now here's your next choice. You can sleep in that wig, no problem. It may be a little itchy if it's a synthetic, but you can deal with it. In the morning, I would get up a little bit earlier and go back and put on my human hair wig just because it was lighter and more comfortable. It's kind of what he remembered when we were out to dinner. But if you still have your Thrasher on and you want to leave it on, maybe you think you're going to be intimate again, I would go in, take it off. I would take some witch hazel pads, which you should have with you as well. Clean your head a little bit because you've perspired sleeping in this. Put it back on, or another Thrasher wig that you may have. I always had 2. Or you can put your human hair on. But take that little moment and don't be nervous. Just switch your wigs. That's a Thrasher wig. And it's never failed me, ever. And it's a really good tip. Here's another sexy tip for you. This next tip I actually learned from Kathleen years ago when I was writing this book. And I said, so tell me something. How do African American women keep their hair from getting matted or from a man like going at it while they're making love? She goes, oh, really easy. We just hang our head off the bed. I went, what? She goes, oh yeah, we hang our head off the bed so our hair is out of the way. I was hysterical. But I actually asked a few of my girlfriends. They go, oh yeah, we hang that head off the bed. I was really, really amazed. It works. That's another little tip. If you don't want your hair in the way of being, if you have long hair, that's a real problem because it will kind of catch on. Here's how to keep his hands off your hair during all those fabulous sexy positions. Kissing. Kissing's such an interesting thing. How do we keep their hands off our hair? Well, first of all, I'll tell you one thing. African American men know never to touch a sister's hair. I learned that from Kathleen. But what I learned in dating was the way you give it out to somebody meaning the way you present what's going on with you, is the way they accept it. So when you go, oh my God, I have this hair, I just have to talk to you, this hair loss. Okay, I'll get through it. I just want to share it with you because it's really hard for me. Really? How do you expect him to react? Versus, so, do you like my hair? I love it. Really? That's good because you can have it because I don't have any. You don't have a problem with that, do you? And they'd go, what? That's the harsh way, okay? That was my ballsy side. Most of the time, I'd wait till I knew somebody, and if he was gonna kiss me, and he was gonna put his hand behind here, like they do first, I would simply take his hand, bring it around, because you know men, they only care about the one thing, so they're not gonna even realize what's going on, okay? So you take it, kiss it, and then you can put that hand wherever you wanna put it. He'll be so enthralled with that hand, don't worry about it. But if you find yourself in a position where he gets really excited and starts to pull, I used a couple of excuses that may help for you. Okay, one was, oh God, I had this perm, my head is so sore. Do me a favor, don't touch my hair, okay? Yeah, it's just really sore. I never had a man say, what? They all went, oh, okay. And guess what? They never touched my hair, it was hysterical. Or I'd say, oh, wow, I have these extensions. Oh God, they put them in tight. Yeah, just, if you don't mind not touching my hair. And they go, oh, okay. Another thing is, if you're at the movies, and you know how people walk behind you in the movies and they grab your hair, make sure when you see somebody walking behind the movies, behind the seats, just kind of lift forward a little bit so you know that's not gonna happen, because that's happened to me so many times. One time, I was wearing my wig tape and it lifted up and I said, oh, I think I dropped something. And I went down and I'm like, trying to fix my wig tape real quick to pop myself up again. So the kissing thing is always a real fear with people. So that's something you don't have to worry about. Just keep your hands off my hair, do the hand thing, so we got over the kissing thing, okay? You don't think intimacy is possible with a wig? Wrong! Watch this tip. Fellatio. Big subject. Interesting to talk about, actually. I go into it more in my book, but quickly as an overview. It's kind of hard, excuse the pun, but it's kind of hard for a man not to want to touch your head in the midst of him getting very excited. And again, you are in control. You can literally very quietly, don't react. Very calmly, you're going to take his hand off your hair and you're going to put it maybe on your shoulder, or maybe you're going to put it on your breast, anything but your hair, okay? That's the main secret. And don't get tripped, don't trip out, don't freak out. You're in control here. Remember, you are in control of any moment sexually. Any moment, honey. A woman holds the power, so don't you forget that, okay? You are not powerless over your hair. You got this handled. So have a good time. Enjoy yourself. Just make sure your tape stays on, your wig stays on with the tape, or that you have it clipped on. So if you have an intimacy tip involving a wig and you want to share it, write me at hello@wigscape.com.